You're listening to Ask an Economist from the Conference Board of Canada.
So, with the success, some might say, at implementing the Canadian Economic Emergency Response Benefit, the CERB, there's been a lot of discussion about whether we can eventually come to some sort of a basic income program or convert the CERB into a basic income program. So we first will answer the question, what is basic income? Then we'll take a look at whether it's affordable in this country and how we might think about implementing it. So let's start with the CERB first. Let's be sure that the CERB is not a basic income program. It really is an employment insurance program that's been put in place and had very effectively, many people might suggest. A basic income program is very different in the sense that it really is government attempting to bring every person, every individual in the country sort of above the poverty line. The idea is that government essentially through the tax system would pay out certain amounts to people, and those certain amounts, that amount would be clawed back as people start to earn income. So there are ideas around universal basic income where the amounts just go to everyone, and it's not clawed back, so there's no disincentive to work. But of course, that's not affordable. So the basic income programs that we've seen in Canada, we've had a couple of pilot programs over the last number of decades. The most recent one being the Ontario Basic Income Pilot. Really, the way they were set up was to essentially pay out about $17,000 per individual, $24,000 to a household if there were two individuals in it, at a max. And then those amounts would be clawed back as you start to earn income. So we always have to be careful about some of these marginal tax rates that are very high for people as they start to work and their income is clawed back. Whether the program is affordable, of course, depends on what the program is. If we look at the Ontario pilot program, for example, the Parliamentary Budget Office did take a look. The government asked them to take a look whether this could be spanned out across Canada and how much would that program cost. And essentially, the Parliamentary Budget Office came up with a number of around $77 billion. So on its own, it's very expensive. But on a net basis, because there's a lot of duplication in the system just at the federal level, we could see those amounts reduced quite drastically. And if we were to include all of the provincial measures that are in place, the social safety net that's in place at the provincial levels, certainly the basic income program could be affordable on a net basis that way. And the reason economists like the basic income program is that it is administered and can be administered very effectively through the tax system and remove a lot of the administrative costs with the different social safety net programs that are currently in place. Now, is it doable? Well, there's two challenges. The first, of course, is that we're coming off of a very deep recession right now. Governments at all levels, provincial and federal for sure, are going to be looking to hold back spending, and I'm not sure that adding a basic income program at this time would be doable. The other issue, of course, is getting alignment across, in our confederation, across provinces and the federal government. We do have very different costs of living, for example, across the country. The social safety net or the social spending typically is a provincial jurisdiction. Will we be able to get alignment on this in the near future is a question to be asked. So thanks very much for that question. Very interesting.